If you've been sending emails but getting very low open rates, and you would love to go from making barely 20% open rates to making 40% and above, then stick with me in this video because I'm going to share with you how I write subject lines that get attention for my clients and how you can do the same. And so, after watching this video, you will know exactly how to write subject lines that not only stand out in users' inboxes but also get them to click. And equally, I'm going to show you how to do that without spending so much time on it. My name is Boris, and for the past months, I've been helping entrepreneurs and founders scale their business with email systems. And so I want to start by saying that the most important thing you need to focus on when sending an email is your subject line, because people open your emails mostly based on your subject lines, okay? And I'm not the one saying this because according to recent benchmarks from Sales Journey to Zapier, roughly 64%, hear me well, roughly 64% of recipients make their decision to open an email based solely on the subject line. And that's quite a decent number, right? Because think about this for a second. Like most people to whom you send an email decide whether or not they will open your email based on your subject line. And so there's no way your campaigns are going to perform if your subject lines are not getting enough attention, because you're competing against, how would I say, you're competing against other senders in users' inboxes. And so you need to stand out. You need to have something extra in order to get their attention. And this leads us to the main theme of this video, which is how to write subject lines that get attention. But before we get into the actual video, I want you to, or I recommend you to stick with me in this video, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the most valuable part of this video, but I'm going to keep that secret for now. So, number one, leverage curiosity. I want you to know, to understand something. People are only interested in what strikes a chord of curiosity in them. Like it's just like a secret everyone's trying to know, okay? You and I obviously love to know about secrets, right? And so that's the feeling you want to create in subscribers when they read the subject line. You want to make them feel like they are trying to know a secret. Okay, let's take for example, this is an example of his very good subject line. You could say something like, read question Boris. Like, think about this. Like, think of receiving such an email which has this subject line. You obviously want to open the email, right? So that's basically what it's all about, getting people curious about opening your email. The next one is leverage urgency. And that's basically the fear of missing out in action here, FOMO, what you usually call FOMO. And this usually works when you're trying to sell something or promote, okay? Because what scarce often appears more valuable to people. People usually like when something isn't that easy to get, okay? People usually see it as, or people usually perceive it as more valuable. Like if people have the feeling they need to open your email right now for whatever reason, they will obviously open your email because if they don't, okay, they might miss something, or maybe it could be a time or a quantity limited discount offer or whatever thing they might miss if they don't open your email. You must be able to create that feeling within subscribers. And so the next one is keep it relevant. Like, despite the fact you're trying to get attention, right? Your subject line needs to stay relevant to your email, because most of the time you might fall into the trap of writing a subject line that will only get attention, but but that is totally unrelated to what you're actually talking in your email itself. Let's take an example. Let's say your subject line is something like, I will kill you. Okay. Obviously, this will, like, for sure this will get attention, right? Someone is telling you in your email inbox he will kill you, and then in your email body you come and you say something like, no, just kidding. I want to talk to you about dot dot dot. Like you've just said in your subject line, I want to kill you or I will kill you, which obviously get attention and get users to open. But then you come in your email body and say something which is totally unrelated. And so so this approach might get you opens in the long run, right? In the short run, I mean to say, it might get you opens on a one shoot, but in the long run, you are just killing your reputation and you're just wearing out the trust people have for you. And so don't use clickbait. Keep your subject line relevant to your email body. The next one is make it disruptive. Now, this is one of my favorite one because like it's about telling people the complete opposite of what they might expect you to say. Like let's say, for example, your subject line is something like don't open this email. Like obviously when you're sending an email, okay, you want subscribers to open the email, but then you come in your subject line and you say something like don't open this email. Obviously this will get subscribers to open, right? Because they are like, why is this guy telling me to not open this email? And so that's basically what being disruptive is all about. But there's one thing I want to make you understand is you must be able to back up your subject line in your email body, okay? Because again, you want to keep your subject line and and your email body relevant, okay? And because if you don't do that, people just feel like they are tricked or they just feel like manipulated into opening your email. And so that's why you must be able to justify your disruptiveness in your email body. Because but because if you don't do that, you're just harming yourself and your reputation. But when this is used right, that's why I love using it. When disruptiveness is used right, it always works. Now, this leads us to number 5, which is leverage a preview text. Now, for some of you who might not know what a preview text is, a preview text is simply a text or a piece of text, usually beneath your subject line when viewed on a phone, or at the right of your subject line when viewed on a desktop. Meaning, when you view emails on your phone, right, the preview text is usually that piece of text which is beneath your subject line, but it's not part of the email body. That's one thing I want to precise though. And the preview text is usually equally seen at the right of your subject line when you view emails on a desktop, on your desktop or on a PC or on a tablet. Like take a look at this screenshot. This is when you view emails on a desktop. You realize here I have the subject line, and just beside I have open to get it, which is the preview text. Equally, same thing down here. We have the subject line, and just aside we have the preview text, which is not part of the email body again. And what this preview text actually does is it complements your subject line and it gets users even more eager to open your email. Like just take a look at the examples I took here. You realize I have a subject line which basically states your 100K email strategy is here. Then at the side I have something like open to get it. Okay, so you realize the preview text kind of complements the subject line. Okay, and equally here below, I have another example where the subject line is basically, I've never said this story before. And the preview text is, but I'm sharing it with you. And what I find great here is you realize that when your subject line is paired with the preview text, it usually has more impact or more yeah, it usually has more impact in users' mind than when you only use a subject line. Like both of these have a higher like increase the chances of your email being open than when you simply use a subject line on its own. So I highly recommend you use a preview text when necessary. And yeah, so far we've said that so far we've covered leverage curiosity, urgency, relevance, disruptiveness, and the preview text. And which leads us to number six, which is add personalization. Now, including someone's name in your subject line always catches your attention in some way, because obviously people love hearing their names from other people's mouth. But to be honest with you, I don't think the personalization thing in terms of including a name plays a very huge role in getting you opens, because I've seen subject lines. Okay, from my personal experience, I've written subject lines with no personalization that literally outperform personalized subject lines. And so yeah, so I don't think personalization plays a very huge role in getting opens. It might in some cases, but usually including someone's name doesn't play a very big role, because at the end of the day, if you have a great subject line, it's gonna it's gonna make most of the heavy lifting for you than including a person's name in the subject line, which is the reason why I actually placed this aspect number six, because it doesn't play, from my experience, it doesn't play a very huge role. Then number seven, and which is avoid spam filters. Now, how do you avoid spam filters? Don't include so much emojis in your subject line, and that's an error a lot of business owners make. They include too much emojis in their subject lines. Do not equally include price figures. Okay, so things like 100K, 10K, it usually appears like spammy to spam filters, and so I highly recommend you don't include that. One aspect I usually want to add is make your subject lines as short or as brief as possible. It helps. It always helps, because users don't like, or these spam filters usually perceived in some cases very long subject lines as spam, and so they might land you into spams. Now, why do you want to why do you want to avoid spam filters? Because at the end of the day, you can't get people attention if you are landing in their spams, right? Because how are people going to read your emails if you keep landing in the spams? And so yeah, so avoid spam filters. So far, yeah, we've covered seven aspects. And just to make a quick recap again, I think it's important is number one, leverage curiosity. Number two, leverage urgency. Number three, keep it relevant. Number four, make it disruptive. Number five, leverage a preview text. Number six, add personalization. And number seven, avoid spam filters. And now I'm so glad you've made it to the end of this video, or so far in this video, as I have compiled a sequence or a list of 100 killer subject lines, the best I've ever read and written in 2026. Yeah, so it's a compilation of most of the subject lines that I have seen have performed pretty well. And so as you can see, as you can see, these are them, and I have grouped them into under various, how would I say, under various emotion categories. Like they are the funny subject lines, which I have grouped here. We equally have subject lines that drive curiosity. We equally have subject lines that drive urgency. We have the emotional subject lines, intriguing or questioning subject lines, and we equally have value driven subject lines. We equally have great subject lines for cold emails, and yeah. And so I am handing this to you today for free. Like, it's my way of thanking you for following me and listening to this video till the end. And so if you want to get this, simply comment the word. Which word could we use? Like, simply comment the word subject. Yeah, simply comment the word subject in the down in the comments, and I'll send you the link. And yeah, so we've actually reached to the end of this video, and another way I want to thank you too is I am offering to you a free audit call. Okay, a free audit call where We will go through your entire email system and figure out the different bottlenecks and what's preventing you from making the most amount of money from your email system or from your email list. And so, yeah, if you are open to that, simply click the link in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.